Welcome to the Listen and Sleep channel. Get comfortable. Let your body relax, your breathing slow down, your thoughts settle. Today you will journey deep within yourself, to places where there are no maps, but there are sensations, where there are no words, but there is understanding. Immerse yourself in this atmosphere. Allow yourself simply to listen, simply to be. Everything begins with silence, with that moment when you stop hurrying and begin to notice the breath that enters and exits, the warmth of your palms, the heartbeat, quiet and faithful. In this silence, where there is no need to prove or understand anything, space appears for a question. What is this body that you have carried all your life? What is hidden beneath the skin, beneath the bones, in the depths where eyes do not see, but the soul feels? Long ago, when the world was still young and full of mysteries, in ancient India, among dense forests and slow rivers, among temples hidden in mist and villages waking with the first rays of sun, there lived people who looked inward. They did not hurry. They sat motionless for hours, for days, allowing the mind to calm, allowing the body to become transparent. And in this transparency, they began to see what is invisible, to feel what is intangible, to understand what cannot be explained with words. They called this prana, life force, energy that flows through everything living, as a river flows through land, as wind moves through sky. This prana has no color, has no form, but it exists. You can feel it now if you stop, in the warmth of your hands, in the sensation of life pulsing in your chest, in that strange but familiar feeling of presence. Yogis, sages, hermits sitting in caves high in the Himalayas, where the air is thin and silence is absolute. They discovered a map of this energy. They saw that prana flows through special channels in the body, which they called nadis. Thousands, tens of thousands of thin threads, invisible to the eye, but real for the one who feels. And along the central channel, along the spine, from the very base to the crown of the head, they discovered 7 special points, 7 centers, 7 gates, 7 places where energy gathers, swirls, glows with special light. They called these centers chakras, a simple word, ancient. It means wheel, circle, vortex. Imagine water swirling into a whirlpool, or wind creating a spiral of dust on a road. So chakras are vortices of energy, places where life force concentrates, where it transforms, where it connects body with something greater. This knowledge was transmitted quietly, from teacher to student, in temples where it smelled of sandalwood and incense, where the light of oil lamps trembled on stone walls, in forests where the only sound is the rustle of leaves and the distant cry of a bird, in caves where drops of water fall from the ceiling, measuring time that does not really exist. Teachers spoke little. They showed. They sat in silence, and the student, sitting nearby, began to feel what cannot be described with words, began to understand with his body, with his breath, with his heart. This was not religion. This was not belief. This was experience. Direct, personal, undeniable. You sit, you breathe, you observe, and gradually, very gradually, you begin to notice warmth in the lower belly, light tingling in the chest, sensation of space in the throat, light behind closed eyelids. This is not fantasy. This is the reality of your inner world, as real as the taste of water or the touch of wind. The Vedas, ancient texts written in Sanskrit, a language that sounds like song, spoke of prana, of breath, of streams of life. The Upanishads, philosophical reflections of sages who went into forests to understand the essence of being, described inner worlds, subtle bodies, structures invisible to the eye. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, written many centuries ago, gave practical instructions on how to calm the mind, how to direct energy, how to awaken to truth. And among all these texts, among all these practices, chakras were a map, not dogma, not rule, but a map, a pointer helping to understand where you are on the path. Which part of you needs attention? Which energy is blocked? Which flows freely? This does not mean chakras need to be seen or measured. This means they need to be felt, lived through them, allowed to be guides to yourself. Imagine morning in ancient India. The sun has not yet risen, but the sky is already lightening, coloring in soft shades of pink and gold. Mist spreads over the Ganges River. Water flows slowly, majestically, as if it has all eternity. On the bank, on flat stones, people sit. They are motionless. Their eyes are closed. Their breathing is barely noticeable. They are immersed in themselves, in that silence where everything is born. The smell of flowers brought to altars, the sound of bells, quiet and pure, distant chanting of mantras, words repeated again and again, not to get something, but to tune in, as an instrument is tuned before playing. The aroma of smoke from fires where herbs and resins burn, purifying space. The sensation of earth under feet, solid, reliable, eternal. In this atmosphere, in this world where time flows differently, where there is no hurry, where each moment is filled with presence, understanding was born. That the body is not just a shell, that it is alive, intelligent, filled with energy, that it has its own centers, its own points of power, its own places through which you can connect with earth, with sky, with the very essence of life. And this knowledge did not remain in India. It traveled along the Silk Road, through deserts and mountains, to Tibet, where monks in red robes practiced meditation and energy work in monasteries built at the edge of the world, to China, where it merged with teachings about chai, about meridians, about balance of yin and yang, to Japan, where it became part of Zen Buddhism, the art of tea ceremony, martial arts. Each culture added something of its own, but the essence remained unchanged. In the body, there are energy flows. There are centers where this energy concentrates. And when these centers are open, when energy flows freely, a person feels whole, alive, present. When these centers are blocked, when flow is interrupted, imbalance arises. Diseases, emotional pain, sensation of separation from self and from world. Chakras are not religion. This does not require faith. This is an invitation. Try. Look within. feel what happens in your body when you simply sit and breathe. Where do you feel tension? Where freedom? Where heaviness? Where lightness? This is the language of chakras, language of body, language of energy, language older than words. And in this chakras, in this ancient knowledge, you can find a path to yourself, not as an idea, not as a concept, but as a living, breathing, feeling being. You can return home, into your body, into your life, into this moment, here and now. Imagine the spine, not anatomy, not bones and discs, but something greater, an axis, a central line, tree of life growing inside you. From the very base where you touch earth to the crown of head, where you open to sky. Along this axis, like lanterns along a dark road, 7 chakras are located. 7 gates, 7 worlds within one body. Each chakra is not just a point. It is a whole universe of sensations, emotions, qualities. Each has its own color, its own sound, its own element of nature, its own lesson, like 7 notes in music. Each is important. Each is beautiful in its own way. And when they all sound together in harmony, a symphony is born. Your symphony, unique, unrepeatable. The first chakra, at the base of spine, is connected with earth, with red color, with survival instinct, with feeling of safety, with roots going deep into soil. The second, just below navel, is connected with water, with orange color, with fluidity, with emotions, with desires, with creativity. The third, in solar plexus, is connected with fire, with yellow color, with willpower, with action, with self-confidence. The fourth, in heart, is connected with air, with green or pink color, with love, compassion, ability to connect with others. The fifth, in throat, is connected with ether, with space, with blue color, with truth, with expression, with voice. The sixth, between eyebrows, is connected with light, with indigo, deep violet, with intuition, with inner vision, with wisdom. The seventh, at crown, is connected with pure consciousness, with violet, white gold, with unity, with understanding that you are part of something infinite. These are not just symbols. These are real qualities you can develop, to which you can return. When the first chakra is open, you feel stable. You know you have a place in this world. You are not afraid. When the second is open, you allow yourself to feel, to desire, to enjoy. You are fluid like water. When the third is open, you know your power. You can act. You are confident in yourself. When the fourth is open, your heart is soft but strong. You love without expectations. You accept. When the fifth is open, you speak truth. Your voice is free. You express yourself without fear. When the sixth is open, you see beyond the obvious. You understand connections. You trust your intuition. When the seventh is open, you know, not with mind, but with heart. You understand that everything is interconnected, that you are part of the whole. But chakras can also be closed, blocked, because of fear, because of traumas, because of habits, because of life, which is sometimes harsh and demanding. When the first chakra is blocked, you feel unstable, anxious, as if the ground is disappearing from under your feet. When the second is blocked, you cannot feel. Emotions are frozen. Joy is inaccessible. When the third is blocked, you feel powerless. You cannot protect yourself. You do not believe in your strength. When the fourth is blocked, the heart is closed. You are afraid to love, afraid to be vulnerable. When the fifth is blocked, you cannot speak. Words stick in throat. Truth remains unspoken. When the sixth is blocked, you do not see. You are lost. You do not understand where to go. When the seventh is blocked, you feel separated, lonely, as if you are alone in the universe. Working with chakras is not magic. It is attention. It is returning to yourself. It is awareness of where you are stuck, where you hurt, where you need help. And it is gentle, patient, loving opening of these places, not by violence, not by struggle, but by acceptance, by breathing, by presence. You can begin right now. Simply notice. Where in your body do you feel tension? Where tightness? Where emptiness? This is not bad or good. This is simply information. Your body is speaking to you. It has always spoken. You simply did not always listen. Chakras are a map. They help understand where you are. They do not require perfection. They do not require that all of them always be open and shining. Life is not like that. Life is movement. Sometimes one chakra is more active, sometimes another. Sometimes you need to be grounded, sometimes flying. Sometimes strength is needed, sometimes softness. Chakras teach balance, not static but dynamic. Balance that breathes together with life. And in this understanding, in this ancient knowledge transmitted through thousands of years, through thousands of hands, through thousands of hearts, you find a tool, not to become someone else, but to become yourself, fully, wholly, alive. Listen to your breath. It goes by itself. You do not control it, but it exists. So it is with energy in the body. It flows by itself. You cannot control it, but you can feel it. You can cooperate with it. You can trust it. Chakras are an invitation to this trust, to this cooperation, to this dance with your own life force. Now descend lower, to the very base, to the root, to the place where you meet earth. The first chakra, Muladhara, a word that sounds like a spell. Mula root, Adhara foundation, support, root that holds, foundation on which everything else stands. It is located at the base of spine, between anus and genitals, anatomically speaking. But this is not anatomy. This is sensation. Imagine the very bottom of your torso, the place where you sit on a chair right now, where your body touches the surface. Right here, in this place, lives your first chakra. Its color is red, deep, saturated, like the setting sun, like blood pulsing in veins, like earth after rain, bent clay from which pots are molded. Red is color of life, color of strength, color of beginning. Its element is earth, solid, reliable, eternal, earth that holds you, on which you stand, which promises nothing except that it exists. Earth does not ask if you are worthy. It simply holds. Everyone, always. Muladhara is the place where your most ancient instincts live. Survival, safety, belonging. When you were an infant, these instincts were everything. Warmth, food, touch, protection. Without this, there would be no life. And these needs have not disappeared. They are still here, at the base of spine, at the root of your being. When Muladhara is open and balanced, you feel stable. You know you have a place in this world. You are not afraid. Not basic fear for life, not anxiety that everything will collapse. You stand on earth and know it will not fail. You have a home, an inner home that is always with you, wherever you go. You feel connection with your body. It is not alien, not hostile, not something that needs to be ignored or controlled. It is your home, your temple. You care for it. You feed it when it is hungry. You rest when it is tired. You move when it asks for movement. You listen to its signals. You feel connection with ancestors, not necessarily knowing their names, not necessarily remembering their faces, but somewhere deep, you understand you are not the first. Before you, there were others. They lived, loved, struggled, survived. They passed life to you. They passed strength to you. You stand on their shoulders. You are continuation of a long, long chain. And this is not burden. This is support. You feel connection with nature, with trees sending roots into earth, with stones lying motionless for centuries, with rivers flowing to ocean, with mountains standing firm. You understand you are part of this. You are not separate. You are not foreign. You belong to this earth as much as tree or stone. But when Muladhara is blocked, everything is different. You feel unstable, as if the ground under your feet is fragile, ready to collapse at any moment. You are afraid. Fear not specific, not rational, simply fear. Anxiety living in belly, giving no peace. Something will happen, something bad, always. You do not feel safe. Even when objectively everything is fine, inside there is tension. You cannot relax. You are always on guard. Muscles are tense. Breathing is shallow. You wait for threat, even if there is none. You feel disconnected from body. You live in head, in thoughts, in worries. Body is somewhere far below, and you do not really understand what to do with it. It hurts, it demands, but you do not hear, or hear but ignore. You feel disconnected from your roots, from family, from culture, from place you came from. Perhaps it was painful. Perhaps you ran away. But now you are alone. Nowhere. You do not belong to anything. And this is frightening. How to return. How to open Muladhara. How to let it breathe. How to allow root to become strong. Through body. Always through body. Because Muladhara is about body, about physical, about matter. Start with simple. Stand barefoot on earth. If you can, go outside, find grass, sand, earth. Take off shoes. Feel how feet touch surface. Cold, warm, soft, hard. Simply feel. This is not exercise for a check mark. This is return. You return to earth. You remind yourself, I am here. I stand. I am held. Breathe into base of spine. Sit comfortably. Close eyes. Inhale deeply through nose. And imagine how air goes not only into lungs, but also down to very bottom of belly, into pelvis, to place where Muladhara lives. Exhale slowly. Feel how with exhale you release tension. Inhale, filling. Exhale, releasing. Again and again. Do not hurry. You have time. You have all life. Move slowly. Yoga helps, especially poses connected with root. Mountain pose, where you simply stand, rooted, firm, like mountain. Bridge pose, where pelvis lifts, where you feel strength at base of body. Tree pose, where you balance on one leg, rooting through foot, growing upward, like tree. But if yoga is not yours, simply walk, slowly, consciously. Feel each step, how foot lifts from earth, how it descends, how weight transfers. You have walked on earth all your life. But when did you last really feel this? Eat consciously. Muladhara is connected with survival, and survival is connected with food. Do not eat on the run. Do not eat in front of screen. Sit. Look at food. Feel its smell. Taste slowly. Chew. Notice taste. You are feeding your body. You are caring for your root. This is not trivial. This is important. Create rituals. Muladhara loves structure, predictability, not necessarily rigid schedule, but something that repeats. Morning coffee, evening walk, weekly meeting with close person. Rituals create feeling of safety. They say world is predictable. I know what will happen next. I control at least this. Work with red color. Wear red. Surround yourself with red. Not screaming, not aggressive. Deep, warm, alive. Red scarf. Red candle. Red flowers. Color affects subconscious. It reminds. It tunes. Listen to sounds of earth. Drums. Low rhythmic. They speak with Muladhara in its language. Rhythm is foundation, like heartbeat. Listen and allow body to move if it wants, to sway, to dance. Muladhara lives in pelvis, in hips. Let this part of body express itself. And perhaps most important, allow yourself to be here. Not in past, not in future, not in fantasies, not in plans. Here, now, in this body, on this earth, in this moment. Muladhara is about presence, about you existing, about you being alive, about you breathing right now. When Muladhara heals, when it opens, you feel this with whole body. Legs become strong. Back straightens. Breathing deepens. You stand on earth, and this earth holds you. You no longer fear falling, because even if you fall, earth will catch. It is always here. It always holds. And from this root, from this stability, from this deep, calm, quiet knowing that you are safe, that you have a place, that you belong. From this root, everything else begins to grow. As tree cannot grow without roots, so you cannot rise higher if you are not rooted. Muladhara is beginning. It is foundation. It is promise. I am here. I am alive. I am ready. Now rise a little higher, from red into orange, from earth into water, from stability into fluidity. Second chakra, Svadhisthana, a word soft, flowing like water. Sva-own, one's own. Adhisthana, abode, dwelling, abode of oneself, place where your true nature lives. It is located just below navel, in lower belly, in sacrum area, in pelvis, there where internal organs live, where life is conceived, where lymph and blood flow. This place is soft, deep, intimate. It is not seen, it is not shown, but it is important. It is sacred. Its color is orange, bright, warm, alive, like dawn over water when sun is just appearing from horizon, like ripe orange, juicy and sweet, like fire that is not yet hot, but warming. Orange is color of joy, color of pleasure, color of life that flows freely. Its element is water, water that has no form but takes any form, that can be quiet surface of lake or turbulent waterfall, that flows around obstacles, finds path, always moves. Water is life. Without water, there is nothing living. Without water, everything dries up, hardens, dies. Svadhisthana is place where emotions live. All emotions, joy and sadness, pleasure and pain, desire and fear. This is place where you feel, not think, not analyze, but feel directly, immediately, without filters. When Svadhisthana is open, you allow yourself to feel everything. You do not suppress. You do not ignore. You do not tell yourself, this is wrong, this is shameful, this is too much. You simply feel. Emotion comes like wave. You allow it to pass through you. It covers, lifts, carries, and then releases, goes. and you are calm again. This does not mean you are constantly in emotions. This means you do not fear them. You allow yourself to desire. Desire is not bad, not sin, not weakness. Desire is life. You want food when hungry. You want water when thirsty. You want warmth when cold. You want closeness when lonely. You want beauty when everything is gray. Desire leads you. It shows what you need. It shows who you are. You allow yourself to enjoy. Taste of good food. Touch of warm water. Aroma of flowers. Sound of music. View of sunset. Closeness of loved one. Pleasure is not luxury. It is nourishment for soul. It is what reminds living is good. Being here is good. You are fluid, like water. You do not cling to one state. You accept changes. Today you are cheerful, tomorrow sad, day after calm. And this is normal. You do not try to control. Do not try to fix. You flow with life. You are creative. Svadhisthana is center of creativity. Not necessarily art, though that too. Creativity is ability to create new idea, new project, new dish, new life. Literally speaking, Svadhisthana is connected with reproductive organs. Creativity is flow that flows through you when you do not interfere. When you simply open and allow. But when Svadhisthana is blocked, everything freezes. Emotions freeze. You do not feel, or feel too strongly, but cannot express, cannot release. Emotions get stuck inside, like water in stagnant pond that gradually becomes murky, heavy. You do not allow yourself to desire. Desire seems dangerous, inappropriate, shameful. You suppress it. You tell yourself should not, cannot, have no right. And desire does not disappear. It hides. It turns into longing, into emptiness, into feeling that life is passing by. You cannot enjoy. Pleasure seems sinful or superficial. You do not allow yourself to relax, to receive, to enjoy. You are always in tension, in control, in work, and life becomes gray, heavy, devoid of joy. You get stuck, You cling to one state, to one emotion, to one situation. You cannot let go. You cannot move on. You are like water frozen to ice, solid, motionless, cold. You are not creative. Ideas do not come. Inspiration does not find. You do what is needed, but there is no life in it, no spark, no you. You mechanically perform functions, but do not create, do not play, do not explore. How to return water. How to let Svadhisthana flow. Through movement. Svadhisthana loves movement, especially in pelvis, in hips. Dance, not necessarily on stage, not necessarily beautifully. Simply move. Turn on music. Close door. Release control. Allow hips to sway, rotate, move in circles. Do not think how it looks. Feel how it feels. Movement frees energy that got stuck. Through water. Swim if you can. Take baths, long, warm, with aromatic oils or salt. Listen to sound of water. Rain, stream, ocean. Water cleanses. It washes away what is no longer needed. It reminds of fluidity, that nothing is eternal, that everything passes. Through emotions, allow yourself to feel. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to laugh, laugh. If you want to scream, find safe place and scream. Emotions are energy in motion. Emotion movement outward. When you suppress emotions, they get stuck. When you express them, they pass, and you are free again. Through pleasure, find what you like and allow yourself this. Without guilt, without justifications. Good food, soft blanket, favorite music, massage, hugs, anything that brings joy. Do not postpone this for later, for someday, for when I deserve. You deserve pleasure simply because you are alive. Through creativity, create something. Draw, write, sculpt, cook. Sing, dance, build. It does not matter if it is good or bad. What matters is you create. That flow flows through you. That you do not just consume, but also give. That you participate in dance of creation. Through releasing, Practice releasing. What are you holding too tightly? What emotion? What resentment? What habit? What person? What dream? What needs to be released so you can flow further? This does not mean forget or betray. This means allow water to flow rather than stand in one place. Work with orange color. Surround yourself with orange. Fruits, flowers, clothing, light. Orange lifts mood, awakens joy, reminds of warmth and life. And perhaps most important, give yourself permission. Permission to feel. Permission to desire. Permission to enjoy. Permission to be alive. World often tells us we must be serious, restrained, controlled. But Svadhisthana says otherwise. It says, you are alive. Live, feel, flow. When Svadhisthana heals, when it opens, life becomes colorful, juicy, fluid. You feel again, desire again, enjoy again. You do not fear emotions because you know they will pass. They will come and go like waves, and you will remain, not broken, not drowned, but renewed, alive, free, fluid like water that always finds way. From water into fire, from fluidity into power, from softness into action. Third chakra, Manipura, a word that sounds like spell of power. Mani, precious stone. Pura, city, place. City of jewels. Place where your inner power lives, your fire, your ability to be yourself. It is located in solar plexus, just above navel, in upper belly, where ribs begin to diverge. This place is soft, vulnerable, but also powerful. Here live internal organs, stomach, liver, pancreas. Here food is processed. Here energy is created. Here burns your inner fire. Its color is yellow, bright, sunny, warm, like first rays of sun that dispel night, like field of sunflowers reaching toward light, like candle flame that dances but does not go out. Yellow is color of light, color of clarity, color of power that does not shout, but knows. Its element is fire. fire that warms and illuminates, that prepares food and scares away predators, that transforms, burns old, creates new. Fire is energy. It is action. It is life in movement. Manipura is place of your will, your ability to act, to choose, to assert yourself. Here lives your I. Not ego in bad sense, not pride, not self-love, but healthy sense of self. Knowing who you are, what you value, what you want, what is important to you. When Manipura is open, you feel your power, not over others, but in yourself. You know you can. You know you will cope. You have energy for action. You have will for accomplishment. You have confidence in yourself. You know your boundaries. You can say yes, and this yes means yes. You can say no, and this no means no. You do not blur, do not lose yourself in desires of others. Do not adjust to self-oblivion. You know where you are, where you end, and others begin. You can act, not from fear, not from necessity, but from choice. You have goals, and you move toward them. You have dreams, and you embody them. Not perfectly, not always easily, but you act. You do not get stuck in planning, in doubts, in postponing. You do. You are confident in yourself, not in sense that you know everything, that you never make mistakes, but in sense that you trust yourself, your decisions, your intuition, your abilities. You know that even if you make mistake, you will cope. You will find way out. You will not break. You value yourself, not because you are perfect, not because you achieved something great, but simply because you exist. You are worthy, worthy of love, respect, good life. No need to earn this, no need to prove. You are worthy by right of birth. But when Manipura is blocked, fire goes out, or conversely, flares too strongly, burning everything around. Imbalance manifests differently. If fire is weak, you feel powerless. You have no energy, no will, no desire to act. You float with current, passive, indifferent. You do not know what you want, or know, but do not believe you can get it. You do not defend your boundaries. You agree to what you do not want. You yield, sacrifice, adjust. And inside, resentment grows, anger feeling of injustice. You are ashamed of yourself. You feel you are not good enough, that others are better, smarter, more beautiful, more successful. You compare yourself with everyone and always lose. You do not believe in yourself. You do not see your value. If fire is too strong, you become aggressive, controlling. You try to dominate, prove your power, win. You do not listen to others. You push your way without considering feelings and needs of others. You are proud, but not in healthy sense. You defend yourself even when no one attacks. You fight even when there is no war. How to find balance. How to kindle fire if it is weak. How to moderate it if it is too strong. Through awareness of your power, begin to notice where you are already strong. What can you do? What have you overcome? What difficulties have you passed? You are stronger than you think. You have endured much. You are here. You breathe. This is already power. Through action, small actions, not necessarily something grand, just something you postponed. Call, write, clean up, begin. Each action feeds fire. Each action says I can, I do, I am. Through fire breathing. There is breathing practice called Kapalabhati, breath of fire. Short, sharp exhales through nose, activating belly. Inhales, passive, natural. This breath kindles inner fire, invigorates, gives energy. Try several cycles. Feel warmth in belly. Through poses of power. Warrior pose in yoga. You stand firmly, legs wide, one arm forward, other back, gaze determined. You are warrior, not one who fights with others, but one who fights for yourself, for your truth, for your life. Plank pose, where you hold body straight, collected, strong. Boat pose, where belly tenses, where fire burns. Through boundaries, practice saying no. Start with small. Do not agree to what you do not want. Do not explain. Do not justify. simply know. This is not harsh. This is honest. This is respect for yourself. When you say no to what does not suit you, you say yes to what is important. Through self-respect, how do you relate to yourself? How do you talk to yourself in your head? If you criticize, condemn, humiliate, stop. Talk to yourself as you would to beloved friend, gently, supportively, with faith. Through yellow color, surround yourself with sun, light, yellow flowers, clothing, objects. Go out in sun when you can. Turn face to its rays. Sun feeds Manipura. It reminds of light, of warmth, of power. Through cleansing, Manipura is connected with digestion, with cleansing of body. Eat what gives energy, not takes it. Drink warm water. Let body cleanse. Let fire burn cleanly. And perhaps most important, allow yourself to shine. Do not hide. Do not diminish yourself. Do not make yourself smaller so others are comfortable. You have right to be bright. You have right to take up space. You have right to your power. This is not selfishness. This is life. When Manipura heals, when it finds balance, you become sun. Not scorching, but warming. Not shouting, but shining. You have energy. You have will. You have direction. You know who you are. You know where you go. And you go step by step, confidently, firmly, with open heart and clear mind, fed by your inner fire that never goes out. Listen to your breath. It is still here. Slow, calm. You passed through 3 chakras, through earth, water, and fire, through root, flow, and power. Rest. Allow everything you learned to settle. There is no hurry. Path only begins. Now rise to very center, to place where top and bottom meet, where body and soul connect, where earthly becomes heavenly. 4th chakra, Anahata, a word gentle as touch. Anahata means untouched, undamaged. Place in you that was never wounded, that is always whole, that always loves. It is located in center of chest, in heart, not in physical heart beating on left, but in spiritual heart, in very center of chest. There, where you place hand when you say I. There where you feel warmth when happy. There where it hurts when sad. This place is soft, open, vulnerable, and at same time incredibly strong. Its color is green or pink. Green like spring grass breaking through snow, like leaves of trees rustling in wind, like healing, like life returning after winter. Pink like dawn, like tenderness, like unconditional love that does not demand, but simply is. Its element is air. Air that you inhale and exhale, that connects you with everything living, that is invisible, but without it there is no life. Air is space, lightness, freedom, ability to move, expand, connect. Anahata is place of love. Not romantic love, though that too. Not love for one person, though that is beautiful. But love as state, as quality of being. Love that does not depend on circumstances, on how you are treated, on what you receive in return. Love that simply is, that flows from you like light from sun. When Anahata is open, you love, not because someone deserved, not because you were given something, but because this is your nature. You love yourself with all your imperfections, with all your mistakes. You love others with all their oddities, with all their flaws. You love life with all its ups and downs, with all its unpredictability. You are compassionate. You see suffering of another and feel this suffering, not as your pain, but as understanding. You want to help, not from duty, not from guilt, but from basal desire to ease pain. You do not judge. You do not divide into right and wrong. You simply see person who suffers and extend hand. You accept yourself as you are, others as they are, life as it is. This does not mean you do not change, do not grow, do not strive for better. This means you do not fight with reality. You do not resist what is. You begin with acceptance. And from this acceptance, change is born. You forgive, not because resentment disappeared, not because what happened became right, but because you do not want to carry this burden. Forgiveness is not for another. It is for you. It is liberation. It is releasing weight that pulls down. And when you forgive, heart becomes lighter, chest expands, breathing deepens. You connect with other people, with nature, with something greater than you. Anahata is bridge. First 3 chakras are about you, your survival, your emotions, your will. Last 3 chakras are about something greater, about expression, about vision, about unity. And Anahata is in middle. It connects. It says, you are part of whole. You are not alone. But when Anahata is closed, heart suffers. You are afraid to love, because love is risk. Risk of being rejected, risk of being wounded, risk of losing. And you close yourself. You build walls. You do not let anyone close. You do not allow yourself to be vulnerable. And in this closedness, you are safe, but you are lonely. You cannot accept yourself. You see only flaws, only mistakes, only what is wrong. You are cruel to yourself. You demand perfection. You do not give yourself right to be human. And this harshness spreads to others. You do not accept them either. You judge. You criticize. You divide into good and bad. You hold resentments. Old wounds do not heal. You remember every pain, every betrayal, every disappointment. And these memories live in chest, heavy, cold, like stones. They occupy space where there could be love. They close space where there could be warmth. You feel lonely, even when people are around, even when you are not physically alone. Inside is emptiness, separateness, feeling that no one understands, no one sees, no one knows how you really are. And this loneliness is quiet, deep, painful. How to open heart. How to let Anahata breathe. Through breathing. Breathing into heart. Sit quietly. Place hand on chest. Feel warmth of palm. Breathe slowly, deeply. Imagine how air enters directly into heart. How with each inhale, heart expands, fills with light, with space. How with each exhale, you release tension, pain, closedness. Breathe this way for several minutes. Simply breathe into heart. Through gratitude, each day, each morning or evening, find something you are grateful for. Not necessarily something big. Warm bed, delicious coffee, smile of stranger, sun in window. Gratitude opens heart. It reminds that there is good in life, that you are not alone, that you are given. Through loving kindness, ancient meditation, practice metta, sit quietly, begin with yourself. Say to yourself, aloud or silently, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be safe, may I live with ease. Feel these words. Allow them to penetrate heart. Then extend this wish to loved one, then to acquaintance, then to stranger, then to someone with whom you have difficulties, and finally to all living beings. May all be happy, healthy, safe. Through forgiveness, start with small. Forgive yourself for small mistake, for saying wrong thing, for forgetting, for not being perfect. Say to yourself, I forgive myself. I am human. I have right to mistakes. Then, when you are ready, forgive someone else. Not necessary to tell them. This is for you. Forgive and release. Feel how it becomes lighter. Through connection with nature, go outside. Look at trees, at sky, at clouds. Feel wind on face. Listen to bird song. Nature does not know closedness. It simply is. It is open. It is connected with everything. Spend time with it. Allow its openness to remind your heart how to be open. Through service, do something for someone without expecting gratitude, without wanting to receive something in return, simply because you can. Help, listen, smile, support. When you give from heart, heart expands. Through hugs. If there is someone close, hug. Long. Not superficially, but truly. Feel warmth of another body. Feel connection. If no one is near, hug yourself. hug tree. Touch yourself with love. Touch heals. Work with green and pink. Surround yourself with these colors. Plants, flowers, clothing. Green heals, pink softens. They remind heart of its nature. And perhaps most important, allow yourself to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is strength. It is courage to be real. Courage to show yourself as you are. Courage to say, I hurt, I am scared, I need help. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you allow others to come close. You allow love to enter. When Anahata heals, when it opens, world changes. Not objectively, but subjectively. You see beauty. You feel connection. You understand that love is not what you seek outside. It is what you carry inside. And when you live from this place, from open heart, life becomes different, easier, lighter, fuller. You are not alone. You were never alone. You were always part of something greater. Love that holds everything. Rise higher, from heart to throat, from love to expression, from silence to voice. Fifth chakra, Vishuddha, a word pure as sound of bell. Vishuddha means purification, purity, place where everything inside becomes sound, where truth finds words. It is located in throat, at base of neck, in hollow between collarbones. There where air passes, where voice is born, where sound vibrates. This place is tender, open, sensitive. Here words become bridge between inner and outer world. Its color is blue, clear, pure, like summer sky without clouds, like deep water of lake in mountains, like space, like infinity, like silence that is full of possibilities. Blue is color of truth, color of calm, color of expression, without tension. Its element is ether, space. Not air as in Anahata, but space itself, in which sound spreads. Emptiness that is not empty, but full of potential. Silence from which word is born. Vishuddha is place of your expression, your ability to speak, sing, shout. be silent. Your ability to express what is inside, your thoughts, your feelings, your truth. This is not only words. This is everything that comes from you. Your voice, your creativity, your authenticity. When Vishuddha is open, you speak truth. Your truth. Not someone else's, not what is expected of you, but what lives in you. You are not afraid to say what you feel. You do not hide behind politeness, behind agreeableness, behind fear of not being liked. You speak clearly, honestly, from heart. You listen, really listen. Do not wait your turn to speak. Do not think up what to answer. You simply listen. You give space to another voice. You respect someone else's truth as much as your own. Listening is also part of Vishuddha. It is about expression and about accepting expression. You create. Through voice, through music, through writing, through any art. You allow what is inside to come out. You do not judge it. You do not ask if it is good, if it is worthy. You simply express. You create because this is your nature. Creativity is not talent. It is right of every living being. You find your voice, not voice that imitates, not voice that tries to be like someone else, but yours, unique, unrepeatable, that which sounds only in you. And when you find it, when you speak with it, this liberates. You are silent when silence is needed. Vishuddha is not only speaking, it is knowing when to be silent. There is time for words, and there is time for silence. And in silence, there is also expression. Sometimes silence says more than any words. But when Vishuddha is closed, voice is lost. You cannot speak. Words stick in throat. You know what you want to say, but cannot. Fear constrains. What will they think? What will they say? Will they be offended? Will they reject? And you are silent. But this is not quiet, calm silence. This is silence full of unspoken, full of pain. You say not what you feel. You say what is expected of you. You agree when you disagree. You smile when you are sad. You play role, and each time you betray your truth. throat constricts more. Voice becomes quieter, less confident. You speak too much or too loudly. You fill space with words because you fear silence. You speak without listening. You interrupt. You prove. This is also imbalance. Too open Vishuddha is as problematic as closed. You do not hear yourself. You do not know what you want, what you feel, what you think. You lost connection with your inner voice. You live by others' scripts, by others' expectations. And inside is emptiness or noise, but not your voice. How to find your voice? How to free Vishuddha? Through singing. Sing. Not necessarily well. Simply sing. In shower, in car, on walk. Allow sound to come from throat. Feel vibration in throat, in chest. Singing liberates. It opens throat. It reminds you have voice. Through mantras, sound sound considered primordial, or any other sound that resonates with you. Repeat it. Feel how it vibrates in throat, in head, in whole body. Mantras are not magic. This is vibration that tunes, purifies, opens. Through writing. Write. Everything that comes to mind. Without editing, without judgment. Simply allow words to flow. You are not obliged to show this to anyone. This is for you. This is way to hear your inner voice. Way to give it expression. Through speaking truth. Start with small. In safe situation. Say what you feel. Not aggressively, not accusingly. Simply, honestly. I feel this. I think this. I want this. Each time you speak truth, Vishuddha opens a little more. Through listening. Practice active listening. When someone speaks, do not think about your answer. Simply listen. Look in eyes. Nod. Let them know you are here. You hear. Listening is gift. It is respect. It is love. Through silence. Spend time in silence. Without music. Without conversations. Without background noise. Simply silence. In silence, you hear your inner voice. In silence, Vishuddha restores, purifies, fills with new energy. Through freeing throat, massage neck, throat, jaw. We hold tension in these places. We clench teeth, constrict throat. Free this tension. Rotate head, move jaw, yawn. Yawning especially well opens throat. Work with blue color. Surround yourself with sky, water, blue objects. Wear bluet at throat scarf, kerchief. Blue calms, purifies, reminds of space, of freedom. And perhaps most important, allow yourself to be yourself. With your voice, with your truth, with your expression. World does not need another copy. World needs you, your uniqueness. What only you can say, sing, create. Do not hide your voice. Do not fear to sound. You are not here by chance. You have something to say. When Vishuddha heals, when it purifies, you find freedom. Freedom to be yourself. Freedom to express yourself. Freedom to speak and be silent. To sing and listen. To create and accept. Your voice becomes bridge between you and world, between your inner and outer. And this bridge is strong because it is built on truth. Rise even higher, from throat to space between eyebrows, from sound to light, from expression to vision. Sixth chakra, Ajna, a word mysterious, attractive. Ajna means command, order, but not in sense of power over others, but in sense of inner knowing, inner guidance. Place where you know without thinking, where you see without looking. It is located between eyebrows, in that place called third eye, just above bridge of nose, in center of forehead. There, where sometimes light pressure is felt during meditation, where ancient sages drew point, symbol of inner vision. Its color is indigo, deep violet blue, color of night sky studded with stars, color of depth, mystery, inner cosmos. Indigo is color between visible and invisible, between knowing and incomprehensible. Its element is light, inner light, not physical light that eyes see, but light of consciousness, light of awareness, light of understanding. light that illuminates darkness, that shows path, that makes invisible visible. Ajna is place of your intuition, your ability to know without explanations, to feel without proof, to see what is hidden from ordinary gaze. This is not mysticism, though many think so. This is simply access to more subtle level of perception, to information that exists, but that we usually ignore. When Ajna is open, you see clearly, not only with eyes, but with inner vision. You see essence of things. You see behind masks, behind words, behind surface. You understand people's motives, not because they said, but because you feel. You see patterns, connections, regularities. You understand how everything is connected. You trust your intuition. You have this inner knowing, this feeling or know, right or not right, and you follow it, not blindly, but attentively. You do not ignore logic. Do not discard reason, but you add intuition to them, and together they create more complete picture. You see symbols, signs, synchronicities. You notice when life speaks to you. Through repeating events, through dreams, through chance meetings. You understand that nothing is accidental, that everything has meaning, not necessarily mystical, but always meaningful. You possess clarity. You do not get confused in details. Do not get lost in information noise. You see main thing. You distinguish important from unimportant. You know where to go, what to do, not because you have plan, but because you have vision. You understand big picture. You see not only yours, but common. Not only now, but perspective. You understand that your life is part of something greater, that your actions have consequences, that everything is interconnected, and this vision gives wisdom. But when Ajna is closed, you do not see. You live in fog. You do not understand what is happening. You do not see connections. Do not understand causes. Do not foresee consequences. You react rather than act. You get stuck in details without seeing whole. You do not trust intuition. You ignore inner voice. You think this is foolishness, fantasy, self-deception. You rely only on logic, only on proof. only on what can be measured, and lose access to large part of reality. You live in illusions. You see what you want to see. You do not notice obvious. You deceive yourself. You believe in stories that do not correspond to reality. And when reality bursts in, it hurts. You are lost. You do not know where to go. You have no direction, no purpose, no vision. You do what others say. You follow others' paths. But inside is emptiness, because this is not your path. You are overloaded with information. In modern world, there is too much information, and when Ajna is closed, you cannot distinguish what is important, what is not, what is truth, what is lie. You drown in stream of data, opinions, news, and lose ability to think independently. How to open third eye. How to activate Ajna. Through meditation on third eye. Sit quietly, close eyes. Direct attention to space between eyebrows. Do not strain. Simply observe. What do you see behind closed eyes? Darkness, light, colors. Do not try to create something. Simply look. With practice, this space becomes brighter, clearer. Through visualization, imagine images, place where you want to be, goal you want to achieve, person you want to become. Visualization develops inner vision. It trains ability to see what does not yet exist, but what can be. Through attention to dreams. Dreams are language of subconscious. Keep dream journal. Write immediately after waking. Do not try to interpret complexly. Simply notice. What themes repeat? What symbols return? Dreams say what you do not hear during day. Through developing intuition, start with small. Before looking at phone, guess who is calling. Before meeting, feel in what mood person will be. This is not magic. This is attention to subtle signals. Over time, intuition strengthens. Through Trataka practice, gazing at candle flame. Light candle, sit at distance. Look at flame without blinking as long as you can. Then close eyes and observe imprint of light behind eyelids. This practice purifies and activates Ajna. Through reducing information noise. Turn off news. Turn off social networks. Give your mind rest from constant stream of data. In silence of information, post your inner vision becomes clearer. You begin to see what is important. Through time in nature under stars, look at sky at night, at infinity, at mystery. This expands consciousness. This reminds there is something greater, that you see only small part, but that this part is connected with whole. Work with indigo and violet. Surround yourself with these colors. Wear them. Meditate on them. They tune Ajna to its frequency. And perhaps most important, trust yourself. Trust your inner knowing. When something seems right, trust this feeling. When something seems wrong, listen. You know more than you think. You have wisdom that is not from books, not from words. Wisdom that comes from depth, from place where you are connected with everything. When Ajna heals, when it opens, world becomes transparent. You see, you understand. You know, not everything. No one knows everything, but enough. Enough to go further. Enough to trust. Enough to live consciously, clearly, with open eyes, both outer and inner. Now rise to very top, to crown of head, to place where you open to sky, where individuality ends and unity begins. 7th chakra, Sahasrara, a word that sounds like whisper of eternity. Sahasrara means 1,000-petaled lotus, flower that blooms at crown, connecting you with infinity. It is located at crown of head, at very top point of skull, there where infants have fontanelle, soft place still open to sky. This is place where energy enters and exits, where you connect with something greater than yourself. Its color is violet, transitioning to white, to gold. Colors that are no longer quite colors. Violet is highest frequency of visible spectrum. White is all colors together. Gold is light of divine. These are colors that speak of where material ends and spiritual begins. Its element is consciousness, pure consciousness, not thoughts, not emotions, not sensations. Awareness itself, that part of you that observes everything else. that was always here. That will remain when everything else changes. Sahasrara is place of your connection with infinite. Call it God, universe, source, consciousness, emptiness, as is closer to you. This is not religion. This is experience. Experience that you are more than your body, more than your thoughts, more than your story. You are part of something infinite. When Sahasrara is open, you know unity, not as concept, but as living experience. You feel that between you and everything else, there is no separation, that you are in tree, and tree is in you, that you are in another person, and he is in you, that everything is on different forms, but one essence. You live in present moment, not because you try, but because there is no other moment. Past is memory. Future is fantasy. There is only now. And in this now is everything needed, everything that is, everything that always was and will be. You feel deep peace, not passivity, not indifference, but peace that comes from understanding that everything is in its place, that everything happens as it should, that you are safe, not because nothing bad will happen, but because even in bad there is meaning, there is lesson, there is path. You accept life as it is, with all its joy and pain, with all its paradoxes, with all its incomprehensibility. You do not fight with reality. You flow with it. You dance with it. You are part of it, and it is part of you. You feel gratitude, deep, quiet gratitude for very fact of existence, for being here, for being able to breathe, feel, see, love, for this incredible, amazing, strange, beautiful thing called life. But Sahasrara is rarely fully open. This is not problem. This is natural. We live in body, in world of form, in world of action. Complete opening of Sahasrara is experience of mystics, saints, those who dedicated life to this search. For most of us, Sahasrara opens in moments, glimpses, and this is enough. When Sahasrara is closed, you feel separateness. You are alone. You are isolated. World is there. You are here. between you is abyss. You do not understand meaning. Why all this? Why are you here? What is point? And there is no answer. You fear death because you identify with body, with personality, with story. And when all this ends, what remains? Nothing? Fear of death is fear of disappearance, fear that you are not eternal. You feel lost in material world. You chase things, achievements, recognition. You think this will give you happiness. But even when you get, there is no happiness, because you are looking in wrong place. Happiness is not in material. It is in connection with something greater. You are cynical, or conversely, blindly religious. You either deny any spirituality as foolishness, or blindly believe in dogmas without asking, without investigating. Both extremes are sign of closed Sahasrara. Balance is in openness, in investigation, in personal experience. How to connect with infinite. How to open Sahasrara, at least for a moment. Through meditation of silence. Not guided meditation, not visualization. Simply sit in silence. Observe breath, thoughts, sensations. Do not cling. Do not follow. Simply observe. And at some point, perhaps, you will feel space between thoughts, silence beneath noise, presence that is always here. Through presence in simple things. When you wash dishes, wash dishes. When you walk, walk. Do not think about past. Do not plan future. Be here, fully. In this presence, Sahasrara opens. Because here, in this moment, you are connected with everything. Through contemplating nature, look at sunset, at ocean, at mountains, at stars, at something greater than you, something that existed before you and will be after, something that reminds you are part of this. You are not separate. You are in this infinite dance of life. Through practice of releasing ego. Ego is identification with personality, with name, with role, with story. Try to release this, at least for a moment. Who are you without your name? Who are you without your achievements? Who are you without your story? What remains? awareness, pure awareness. This is you, real. Through studying spiritual texts, not as dogma, but as pointers. Read sages of different traditions, Buddha, Lao Tzu, Rumi, Eckhart Tolle, Ramana Maharshi. They speak of same thing in different words, about unity, about present moment, about you already being whole. Through gratitude for existence itself, each morning, waking up, say thank you for new day, for breath, for life. This simple practice tunes to frequency of Sahasrara. It reminds being alive is gift, incredible, undeserved, precious gift. Through fasting from information and stimulation, spend day in silence, without phone, without computer, without conversations, just you and silence. In this silence, mind calms, thoughts slow, and space appears for something greater. Work with violet, white, gold. These are colors of high vibration. Meditate on them. Imagine light of these colors pouring through crown, filling whole body. And perhaps most important, trust. Trust life. Trust process. You do not control everything. And this is normal. This is even good. There is something greater that leads, that holds, that knows. Call it what you want, but allow yourself to trust. Release control, and see that even when you release, everything is fine, even better than fine. When Sahasrara opens, even for a moment, everything changes. You see what you sought was always here, that you sought yourself and you were always here, that there is nothing to achieve because you are already whole. You are already free. You always were, simply forgot. And now, remember. Listen. You passed whole path, from root to crown, from earth to sky, from Muladhara to Sahasrara, through 7 gates, through 7 worlds. Now you know map. Now you feel energy flowing in your body, from base of spine to crown of head, like river that rises upward, connecting you with earth and sky simultaneously. But knowledge is not goal. Map is not territory. Chakras are not what needs to be achieved. this is what needs to be lived through. Each day, each moment, not thinking about them, but feeling, allowing energy to flow, allowing life to be. All 7 chakras work together. They are not separate. They are one system. When one chakra is blocked, this affects others. When one opens, this helps others. This is like music. 7 notes. Each is important. But beauty is in how they sound together. Sometimes you need more first chakra. Grounding, stability, connection with body. When life is chaotic, when you are flying in clouds of thoughts, return to root. Feel earth under feet. Return to body. This will give strength, stability, peace. Sometimes you need more second chakra. Fluidity, emotions, creativity. When life is frozen, when everything is too structured, too controlled, allow water to flow. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to move, change, play. Sometimes you need more third chakra. Willpower, action, confidence. When you feel powerless, when you cannot begin, when you postpone, kindle fire. Take step. Take responsibility. Act. Sometimes you need more fourth chakra. Love, compassion, acceptance. When heart is closed, when you hold resentments, when you are cruel to yourself or others, open heart. Forgive. Accept. Love. This will heal more than you think. Sometimes you need more fifth chakra. Expression, truth, voice. When you are silent, when you cannot say what you feel, when you live not your life, find your voice. Speak truth. Express yourself. Free yourself. Sometimes you need more sixth chakra. Vision, clarity, intuition. When you are lost, when you do not know where to go, when you do not see meaning, look within. Trust your inner vision. It knows. It always knew. Sometimes you need more seventh chakra. Connection with infinite. Peace. Trust. When you feel lonely, when you are afraid, when you do not understand why, remember, You are part of something greater. You are not alone. You were never alone. Balance is not static state. It is dance. Sometimes you are grounded. Sometimes you fly. Sometimes you act. Sometimes you accept. Sometimes you speak. Sometimes you are silent. Life is movement, and chakras move with it. There is simple practice that connects all chakras. Meditation on energy flow through whole body. Sit comfortably, straighten back, close eyes. Begin with breath. Several deep inhales and exhales. Calm mind, calm body. Now direct attention to base of spine, to Muladhara. Imagine red light there, warm, stable, like glowing coals. Feel connection with earth, with root, with stability. Breathe into this place. Allow light to become brighter. Raise attention slightly higher to Svadhisthana. Imagine orange light, fluid, soft, like water at sunset. Feel movement, emotions, creativity. Breathe into this place. Allow light to flow. Raise attention to solar plexus, to Manipura. Imagine yellow light, bright, warm like sun. Feel your power, your will, your value. Breathe into the place. Allow light to shine. Raise attention to heart, to Anahata. Imagine green or pink light, soft, expanding. Feel love, compassion, connection. Breathe into this place. Allow light to grow. Raise attention to throat, to Vishuddha. Imagine blue light, clear, pure, like sky. Feel your voice, your truth, your expression. Breathe into this place. Allow light to sound. Raise attention to space between eyebrows, to Ajna. Imagine indigo light, deep, mysterious. Feel your inner vision, your intuition, your wisdom. Breathe into this place. Allow light to illuminate. Raise attention to crown of head, to Sahasrara. Imagine violet, white, gold light pouring from above like waterfall of light. Feel connection with infinite, with unity, with peace. Breathe into this rest. Allow light to fill. Now imagine how all these colors, all these lights connect. like rainbow of light, passes through your body, from root to crown, from earth to sky. Feel this flow, this energy, this life pulsing in you. You are not doing this. This happens by itself. You simply observe. You simply allow. Sit this way as long as you want. 1 minute, 5, 20. There are no rules, no should. There is only you and this flow. When you are ready, slowly open eyes. Slowly return to room. But take with you this sensation, this light, this connection. It is always here. You can return to it at any moment. Chakras are not something that needs to be fixed, not problem that needs to be solved. This is map that helps understand yourself, that helps see where you are stuck, where you need help, where you are already free. Working with chakras is not work in usual sense. This is not effort. This is attention. This is care. This is love for yourself. You do not force chakras. Do not make them open. You simply pay attention to them. You breathe into them. You invite them to open. And they open when ready, at their pace, at their time. Life itself teaches. Each difficulty is lesson for some chakra. Loss of job can teach first chakra trust and stability. Broken heart teaches fourth chakra to open again, to love again. Inability to express yourself teaches fifth chakra to find your voice. Life is teacher, best teacher, if you allow it to teach. You are not obliged to be perfect, not obliged to have all chakras open and shining. This is impossible. This is not goal. Goal is to be alive, present, conscious, to feel, to grow, to learn, to love. This is path. And on this path, chakras are your allies, your friends, your guides. They show where you are. They point where you can go further. They remind you are more than you thought. That in you there is depth, height, breadth. That you are microcosm, small universe, with its own worlds, with its own luminaries, with its own infinity. Listen to your breath. It is still here, calm, even. You are here, in this body, in this moment, with all your chakras open and closed, bright and dim. And this is good. This is exactly as it should be. Right now, return to silence from which everything began, to silence to which everything returns. Perhaps you learned something new. Perhaps simply remembered what you always knew. In any case, this is your path, your journey, your unfolding. Chakras are not end. They are beginning of deeper understanding of yourself, beginning of more conscious life, beginning of returning home, into your body, into your heart, into your essence. And in this return, you discover something amazing. That home was always here, that you never left, that everything you sought outside was always within, in silence of your breath, in beating of your heart, in light that burns in you even when you do not notice. Close eyes. Feel this light. It is here, right now, in your root, in your belly, in your solar plexus, in your heart, in your throat, in your third eye, at your crown, everywhere, always. You who are this light, dressed in body, playing in this game called life. And when you remember this, when you feel this, everything becomes simpler, easier, clearer. You stop fighting. You begin to flow. You live, truly live, with open heart, with clear mind, with rooted body, with radiant soul. This is path of chakras, not path to perfection, path to yourself, path home, path to life that is full, rich, deep, not because there are no difficulties in it, but because you are more than difficulties. You are life itself, breathing, feeling, loving, eternal. Sleep peacefully. Let this light remain with you, in sleep and waking. Let it guide you. Let it remind who you are, where you came from, where you return, to silence, to light, to love, home.